Let's get straight to the action. Focusing on earnings first. Hindustan Zinc, well, they reported a pretty good set of numbers. The revenue as well was up by close to around 20% in comparison to a year ago. To help us out with what's the way ahead, we're joined by Mr. Arun Misra, who is the CEO and whole-time director of the company. Hi, Mr. Misra. Thanks a lot for joining in. Always a pleasure speaking to you. Well, given that Trump's tariffs and the global demand-supply dynamics, what could be the broad zinc price range that you're working with?
So if you look at global situation, US consumes about 700,000 tons of zinc, which is hardly less than 1 million ton out of 12 million ton production world over. Of course, US has put some amount of tariff on 25% tariff on steel and aluminium coming into the country. There are 2-3 options. One, in the near term, 3 months to 6 months, nothing more happens in the on the tariff side. 90 days freeze gets extended to say 180 days. In that scenario, the world would reset to the new level of doing business with somewhere 10% tariff, not impacting much on the productions or the costs. And we see a price range of $2,500 or $2,600 to $2,750 per ton remaining unchanged for maybe 6 to 9 months. Second option, some rollback happens from US side and business goes back and starts usual, then we would see a recovery of price earlier towards the third quarter, maybe around November, December or so. Otherwise, I see very clearly if this stalemate continues and maybe China price, even if it is corrected by 70-80% of the current tariff, meaning that suppose China tariff remains at 25%, January onwards, you would see a better price of $3,000 per ton kind number.
All right, take that point. That's clear range that you've given for the next 6 months on zinc. But silver prices, they've been fairly volatile as well, holding around $31, $32 per ounce, while gold has surged away. Do you see silver prices, focus there as well? Where do you see them stabilize?
No, silver is in for a better time. It's a timing gap between the gold peaking and silver peaking. Immediately, people are rushing to gold because of the lack of certainty in the money market. So that rally will continue for some time, but then it will be followed by silver. A current of $33 to $34 per troy ounce silver, we see a clear future going up to $36, $37 per troy ounce. And yes, further better times in silver will come. Remember last year when I said silver should go up to $33 when it was actually at $29, $30 a ton, all of us thought it will take much long for silver to come to 33. Now that's the reality.
All right, Mr. Misra, could you outline what are the volume targets for FY26? And also, could you give us an update? How is the FUMA functioning?
So the FUMA plant has been commissioned. Both furnaces are running. They're running currently at 75-80% of the capacity. Another 1 month down the line, they will run at full capacity and add up to 30 tons of silver in a year. So that's done now. That difficulty is behind us. Last year, we finished at 1,052 KT of metal, about 1.052 million tons, if I can say so. We know we had an opportunity of another 20-25 KT. Also, the new roaster coming in, that should come or May 20th, will add another 40 KT of metal. So altogether, next year, 1.1 million ton metal is easy to make, and we are all gunning for that.
All right, so what is the pricing band, though, you're looking at if you have to increase the silver production?
Silver, we will focus operation mostly on zinc plus lead mode all through the year. So we will not be silver specific, and we will look at silver around 700 to 710 tons of silver. But if silver prices go further higher and zinc comparatively becomes less attractive, we may change our decision, reduce metal production and increase silver production. We'll look at that as the situation evolves.
Yes, sir. So, given that silver you're guiding closer to around 700 tons, but you're looking at how the situation evolves, then what will be the guidance? What is that price band you're looking at between silver and zinc to focus more on silver, if that's the case?
No, so coal, again, we have done extremely well in making domestic coal available. In the Q4, we had 46% mix of domestic coal in the total coal, and annually we are at 44%. Just a couple of years back, it used to be hovering around 10%, 15% only domestic coal. So we have come up thus far. And second, our RE power mix, renewable power mix has been 13% this year. Quarter 4 has been 15%. Next year it should be 30%. So given all this, I'm sure that our cost numbers, currently we have done about $1,050 per ton. We should remain closer to that and maybe 10, 15 or $20 lesser.
All right, sir. Could you give us an update on unlocking value of the business? That's something that you have spoken at in the past.
No, it is happening, not in the route that we prescribed. When we spoke that our valuation was 16 billion, but in the meantime, commodity rally happened and we went up till about 28, 29 billion. Then we came down to 21 billion, and we are now focusing on growing our bottom line. That we should be expanding by another 1 million ton. That project, part by part, we should be able to make announcement in another month's time. Starting June onwards, within a span of couple of months, we should be making full announcement, maybe 3 phases of announcements, but we'll be announcing up to 1 million ton expansion. So that will double our EBITDA, and with the 8 times multiple, our valuation will go up further. So the original, even without demerger, we can do that. But I'm sure when the expansion happens, silver number will go to about 1,200 to 1,500 tons. Demerger will become a reality.
And what about the capex plan for FY26 with and without the demerger?
No, as of now, our guidance capex is 225 to 250 million dollars, which is mostly for tapering of expenditure of the earlier projects of fertilizer and roaster and maybe some equipment replacement and some amount of money for debottlenecking. Once we make announcement for growth of 1 million ton, that will come with its own capex. The numbers are being calculated. Rough cut, as I had spoken earlier, enter 1 million ton, maybe about $2.5 billion. So as we complete the calculations for every phase, first phase could be 0.3 million ton, and whenever we are ready by in a month's time, we will make that announcement to take us to 1.5 million ton.
So we'll wait by for the capacity enhancement announcement, but for the time being, you're telling us ramping up capacity and increasing capacity is the focal point. Final question before we let you go. Any update of an OFS from the government of India? Are they looking to sell some more? What about Vedanta? Will they as well look to dilute any stake?
No, nothing. I have not heard anything from both sides.
Appreciate you joining in, Mr. Misra. Thanks a lot for giving us that quick update and also outlining the way ahead.